Hey, you're on the Bible Forum. I'm Warren Sprouse. I want to talk to you this evening about American Intrigue. Just outside the dominant media coverage of President Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic is the quietly growing exposure of a corrupt Obama White House and administration. It's called The Fall of Obama's House of Cards. CBS, 60 Minutes, January 25, 2017. A quote from former President Obama: "I'm proud of the fact that we are the first administration in modern history that hasn't had a major scandal in the White House." Define major. Here's what Obama officials have said frequently on TV against President Trump, under oath, with a potential charge of perjury if caught lying, compared to what they said in other places and other times. For example, James Clapper, Obama's Director of National Intelligence, December 18, 2017, CNN, quote, "Vladimir Putin knows how to handle an asset, and that's what he's doing with President Trump." Under oath at the House Intelligence Committee, July 17, 2017, same man, quote, "I never saw any direct empirical evidence that the Trump campaign or someone in it was plotting or conspiring with the Russians to meddle in the election." Andrew McCabe, Deputy Director of the FBI, February 17, 2019, answering CNN's Anderson Cooper's question, "Do you think that President Trump could be a Russian asset?" His answer, "I think that's possible." Under oath to the House Intelligence Committee questions, December 2017, quote, "We have not been able to prove the accuracy of all the information." What is the most damning or important piece of evidence in the dossier? You don't know if it's true or not? McCabe, that's correct. Samantha Power, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, December 11, 2019, Late Show, CBS, laughingly saying, quote, "I think Putin has received a very high return on his investment," end of quote, meaning President Trump. Samantha Power to the House Intelligence Committee, quote, "I am not in possession and did not read or absorb information that came out of the intelligence community," end of quote. But Samantha Power did request the unmasking of 260 American citizens during 2016, toward the end of the Obama administration. Susan Rice, Obama's National Security Advisor, July 2018, This Week on ABC, quote, "He, Trump, has taken a number of steps that Vladimir Putin couldn't have handled more effectively," end of quote. Susan Rice in front of the House Intelligence Committee, September 8, 2017, quote, "I don't recall intelligence that I would consider evidence to that effect," end of quote. But Susan Rice did make requests for the unmasking of American citizens, members of the Trump campaign. John Brennan, CIA Director, August 17, 2018, NBC Meet the Press, quote, "I call his, Trump's, behavior treasonous, to aid and abet the enemy, and I very much stand by that claim," end of quote. Brennan addressed President Trump in a tweet dated March 20, 2019, quote, "The special counsel will soon further complicate your life, putting your political and financial future in jeopardy," end of quote. Brennan on MSNBC's Morning Joe, March 26, 2019, quote, "I don't know if I received bad information, but I think I suspected there was more than there actually was," end of quote. This was the head of Obama's CIA calling the elected president of the United States a traitor based on information at his fingertips. Obama's Attorney General Loretta Lynch, when pressed at the House Intelligence hearing, said, "I don't recall that being briefed up to me." Obama's Attorney General couldn't recall if she had been informed that President Trump had been colluding with Russia. Evelyn Farkas, Obama's Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense, told MSNBC in March 2017 that she, quote, had to get as much intelligence on Trump before Obama leaves the administration and before the Trump staff found out how we knew what we knew, end of quote. Farkas left the Obama administration in 2015. When questioned by Trey Gowdy, presumably in 2017, how she would have known about information in possession of the Obama administration about Trump-Russian collusion if she didn't work for the U.S. government anymore, Farkas admitted, "I didn't know anything." Gowdy pressed farther. "You also didn't know whether or not anyone in the Trump campaign had colluded with Russia, did you?" Farkas replied, "I didn't." Here we have a list of Obama's top officials feeding the American public an ongoing series of lies, then later denying knowledge of any Trump collusion with Russia when put on the spot and under oath, where lying to Congress comes with potential prison time. This was part of what can only be called a coup attempt to remove a duly elected president, and Obama knew what was going on. It is shown in the August 6, 2016 text message between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page that, quote, "the White House is running this," end of quote. This was confirmed in a September 2nd reply from Page to Strzok that, quote, "POTUS wants to know everything we're doing," end of quote. What they wrote is obvious. In the United States, counterintelligence always runs through the commander-in-chief. This is the person who sits in the Oval Office, in this case, Barack Hussein Obama. President Obama was keeping tabs on anti-Trump activities by his counterintelligence and law enforcement elite. On January 7, 2017, after Donald Trump had been elected president, but before he took office, outgoing President Obama held a meeting in the Oval Office purportedly about Russian interference in the 2016 election. Attending that meeting were Vice President Joe Biden, John Brennan, James Clapper, Susan Rice, Sally Yates, and James Comey, head of the FBI. After the meeting, Obama asked that Yates and Comey remain behind. This meeting was to discuss General Michael Flynn, who Obama had fired, and Flynn's brief conversation with the Russian ambassador as part of his preparation for national intelligence role under a Trump presidency. Whatever happened at that Oval Office meeting, Michael Flynn became a prime target for Comey's FBI, which then forced the general to accept a plea bargain with special counsel Robert Mueller by pleading guilty to willfully and knowingly making false, fictitious, and fraudulent statements. Flynn was innocent. He was exonerated on all charges. Flynn had fallen into an FBI entrapment operation. Recent documents clearly show the ones who were willfully and knowingly making false, fictitious, and fraudulent statements were the top FBI personnel, including James Comey. They now nervously await the Attorney General, William Barr, and Special Prosecutor John Durham's axe to fall, an axe which is likely to incriminate them in criminal behavior. Trump had picked Flynn to be his national intelligence chief, and Flynn knew where the bodies of the previous administration were buried. When Obama met with Trump during the White House transition, the outgoing president told Trump to be wary of two people, North Korea's Kim Jong-un and Michael Flynn. That was how nervous Obama was about the general. He had to be removed or turned against Trump, and the plot nearly succeeded. We now know that the FBI targeted Flynn in an effort to break him and make him turn against President Trump, as proven in the shocking revelation of a handwritten instruction to the FBI team to entrap Flynn at the White House meeting. The note, written by Bill Priestap, Obama's FBI head of counterintelligence, ordered them to, quote, "get him to lie so we can prosecute him or get him fired," end of quote. The note was dated January 24th, 2017. It illustrated the corrupt behavior of Obama's FBI. This was the final act of President Obama, who had bragged about having the most scandal-free White House in American history. The Wall Street Journal raised the question of Obama's role in the gross abuse of FBI DOJ power in their May 11th editorial after Obama got himself involved by questioning the dropped charges against Flynn. It wrote, quote, Barack Obama is a lawyer, so it was stunning to read that he had ventured into the Michael Flynn case. We wonder what he's really worried about, end of quote. The Democrats spent 3 years and an estimated $40 million trying to dig up dirt on President Trump. Surely it is fair and balanced for the Republicans to spend the next 3 years investigating the questions: what did Obama do and why did he do them? With the impending reports of the Barr-Dunham probe, a probe that carries with it serious criminal implications for some, expect more bombshells to fall that could affect the outcome of the U.S. 2020 election, and also the reputation of Obama's closest aides, perhaps Obama himself. Are we witnessing the fall of the Obama house of cards? We are starting to see Obama becoming more active, more vocal, wanting to be a part of what's going on in Washington, ostensibly about the election. But it makes us wonder.